giving consumers a financial edge, providing economic tools designed for you to win. With the Empirenomics business guru Al Mills and the credit lady gem dropper herself, Monique Macklin.
Hello, and welcome to Wake Up and Win with Al Mills and Monique Macklin. My name is Monique Macklin, and I am known in the industry as the Credit Lady.
And hi, I'm Al Mills, aka the Prophetic Financier. Welcome to our podcast.
Yes. Now, we have created a space that is designed to enlighten, empower, and edify people to their next level of economic success. On this platform, we do that by having conversations that require you to examine your current situation and make changes as needed to get you to the life that you desire to live by thinking better, banking better, and leveraging better, as Al would say. Now, on today's show, we will be discussing today's topic, which is end your season of broke. Again, end your season of broke. So let's jump right in.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So when it comes to brokenness, financially being broke, I think is more, as we always discuss, is more of a mental thing, correct?
Absolutely. It's all a state of mind, a state of being, of course.
Mm-hmm. So it's requiring people to really just change their thinking. But there are other levels that they can do to, of course, move themselves out of scarcity into, being in a position of never having to worry about lack, right? So there are different things that people can do, but the first thing in your teachings is always about your mindset, because we are energy, we are the money, as you say.
Absolutely. And if you think about it, your thoughts are things, right? And so your thoughts create your feelings, and your feelings then create your beliefs, and therefore the actions in which you take. So if your mindset concerning broken versus being prosperous, if you don't know how to identify or redefine the meaning of those things, that can put you down a rabbit hole or in a place of despair where you don't think that there's a way out.
That's true too. I've been there where it's like you just feel like you're drowning, right?
Exactly.
And there's absolutely no way out, and you worry a lot. One of the things I had to learn to stop doing many years ago is not worry, because the things I would worry about would be taken care of the next day anyway. Right. And so, you kind of, I know that's a verse in the book of Matthew, which actually got me through that. But success is relative, because my level of success is not your level of success, and our levels of success is not someone else's. So I know we were talking earlier about comfortability, right? Some people get comfortable and they don't even know that they're broke.
Yeah, I love the statement that Harriet Tubman said, that she would have freed a lot more slaves if they knew that they were enslaved. And so the same thing is true when you're transitioning from lack to abundance, or from poverty to wealth. Sometimes you don't even identify that you may not be, because of your surrounding, your perception, or just your lack of awareness to how to measure the difference between the two.
Like I've seen posts that will say, I'm broke, but all my bills are paid, right?
Exactly.
So they're comfortable. As long as I can pay my bills, everything is paid, I'm good. But that's like, you're still broke, regardless.
Still broke.
You're still there because you should have excess at the end of those bills being paid. So we want to kind of figure out a way for people to transition from that just comfortability state to, how do I walk into a state of abundance and prosperity, and not to say ever having to worry, but where money is not a part of your daily struggle.
Your freedom zone. So I think I think that's a great segue into the first thing one should establish. So those in the financial world would call it a financial goal. But we as kingdom economic advocates, we're not financial advisors. So I just have to say this disclaimer: we're not giving financial, tax, or legal advice. concerning these matters is purely for education and entertainment purposes amongst friends and family. So I would recommend that the very first thing that one should do is establish your personal and or family constitution, which basically means starting to define what you see as arriving or reaching your destination. So you got to create that family constitution.
And now you also said, since we're at the first of the year, this is January the 4th, it's a time when people are making resolutions. And you just said something when we were discussing this just amongst ourselves earlier, the word resolution, which I never even thought of in that way. But you said is doing something again, right? So
that's correct. Yeah. So, the last time I checked, when we went to school, the prefix RE meant to repeat or to redo. So when you put RE in front of solution, your resolution, your resolution. So you are basically going to use that old methodology or precept again. Which means if you continue doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, we already know what the clinical definition of that is.
You're insane.
So creating a constitution is more of a foundational place in your life that you set to determine what your definition of success or wealth or prosperity is, because you made that earlier mention that most people, my definition or target of wealth is different than someone else's, which everyone has the right to live their life on their own terms, right? Which we coined in our community lifestyle compliancy. So you need to create a constitution around your lifestyle compliant desire. Not with someone on the internet told you arrive and you make $1 million, or you drive a Rolls Royce or a Bentley. You need to come to a place of comfortability and attainability that brings some form of mental and physical joy to yourself, and create a game plan for that called the family constitution.
You said you call that a declaration, or even, as I was mentioning earlier, a promise to yourself.
I love that.
Yeah, promise to yourself. That's the way I would always do it for myself. If I wanted to do something, I wouldn't say I wanted to do a resolution. I'm going to make a promise to myself to get up every day and say, work out at 5 a.m. And when I said that, because I think if you can't keep a promise to yourself, then you can't keep a promise to anyone. I think it gives it, like the Constitution, the personal or family constitution, it gives it more depth. And it gives people more of a reason, because a resolution, we all know people by the end of January.
It's so commercialized. Yeah.
By the end of January, February, people are kind of over it. But if you are steadfast and you're focused and you say, you know what, I promised myself by June I'm going to have this done. Let me get on my P's and Q's kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to say, so we want to help people end their season of broke. What is, let's say, maybe 4 or 5 things that you could think of that people can incorporate into their lives that can help them move into a state of abundance?
Right. Well, I think the first thing, back to the family constitution or personal constitution, no two people define or have the same lifestyle that they desire. So I think the very first question should be is, where did you like to be? Where would you like to be ultimately? What does that life look like? So that you can create an image in your mind, a focal point that you're targeting for. Because without a clear target, you'll never hit it. A fuzzy target never gets hit, right? So I would first say, set that initial goal that is your freedom goal, which is basically generating enough financial capacity that takes care of your necessities. And once you've taken care of your necessities, then you can pursue lifestyle or wealth, if you will. So the first thing I would recommend in changing your new fiscal year, 2024, would be to set a clear target for your freedom zone.
Your freedom number.
Zone. That's correct, your freedom number.
So your freedom number is what is it? What will free you up each month? Right? If you earn $4,000 a month, if $4,000 a month is your freedom number, where you don't have to work so hard each month on your day-to-day 9 to 5 or whatever. Once you get to 4,000, then you have your bills paid and you might have a little extra. Now, to go from that stage to your next stage, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
That's how that works. That's how that works. So imagine, now the key here is not to necessarily have to thug it out, slug it out, be on the grind.
Right.
I think part of freedom is a three-pronged attack. You need to have time freedom, location freedom, and of course, ultimately financial freedom. And so we need to find ways to generate that, whatever that number is, in a passive way that doesn't require you to spend a lot of time and energy.
Right. So time freedom is owning your time. Just so for clarity, for people out there, time freedom is you owning your time. When you have to go and report to the plantation every day, as I call it, you go and you report to the plantation every day. That means your job owns your time. So when you are able to own your time, that's the time freedom that Al is speaking of. Location freedom, meaning that you are able to create whatever your freedom number is in wherever you live, or if you decide to travel or go, you're not bound in one location. So that's what he means by location freedom. You're not bound and you can't be fruitful if you decide to go over to Panama for a month, right? And then financial freedom, of course, is, being free in order that money is still coming in and you're able to thrive and live and, live the life that you want to live financially. So that's what he is speaking of when he says time, location, and financial freedom, just so that there's some sense of clarity. Because people are like, what's location freedom?
What's location? Well, again, put it this way. You can be in the other portion of your house. If your dream is that big, you don't have to be in your home office. And I just want to add to that, location freedom. You can still be bound even if you work from home. Some people still have to sit in front of that laptop or that computer screen for hours, thugging it out at home.
Yes.
We want to reduce our time frame. We can do that simply by creating alternative passive income that doesn't require you to actively or physically be there. So that's great. So that's the first thing I would say one should do.
Okay, so those are, one was create a clear target or goal. 2 is what is your freedom number that will get you your time, location, and financial freedom. Number 3, what we're going to say is number 3, do you think that people should incorporate to end their season of broke?
I think they need to monitor, manage to multiply their resources. If you don't monitor the resources, aka take inventory of your resources, and then reallocate them and manage them, you could never multiply them. So we're going to say the second thing will be to start monitoring all of the resources that you have access to.
Okay, so that means your bank accounts, your job, your business,
your friends, anyone who can be of a resource to you.
Yeah, your family. Yeah. I'm trying to think of some others, but yeah, you all will get the gist of that. But yeah, so monitor that.
Because you'll be surprised. You can get liquidity, you can get opportunities. You have to learn how to use relationship capital. That's why we call it resources. It's a resource. It's a that prefix again, source. Learn to tap into sources that you currently have. Resource.
This is true. So, and it's always what's that saying? It's not what you know sometimes, it's also who you know, right? So
and then if it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
This is true. Yeah, I like that too.
And that kind of goes into the segue of why most folks are in a place of disparity or brokenness is because they lack strategic relationship.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with that. And I think most people, and I'm guilty of this, you try to do everything by yourself, if that makes sense, right? So
me find me for
exactly. And then probably around year 7 or 8 is when I started getting fatigued in this, because especially when you're trying to be quote unquote self-employed, you're wearing many hats, right? So you're doing sales, customer service, you're doing marketing, you're doing accounting. It's a lot that you do. It's a lot of hats that
You're
you
the
have to wear.
chief bottle washer and cook.
Yes, it's a lot and it can be very, very draining. And as you
Hmm.
always explain, becoming self-employed is just a glorified job. All you did was replace it with a job, and you're working even harder because when you leave a job, you leave the job. But when you have a business and you're self-employed, it never turns off a lot of times.
Right. And that's another thing too, right? Since you went there, there
Hmm.
is a major difference between being self-employed and owning a business.
This is true.
They're not synonymous, ladies and gentlemen. They're
They're
not
not.
synonymous. When you are self-employed, self owns the employment.
Hmm.
When
Hmm.
you're a business owners, other people work for you, and you
Yes.
negatively extract yourself out of that corporate structure. You become
Hmm.
management, not employment or the workers, the laborers.
Hmm.
Yeah,
You hire smart people to do their task.
there
That's
you
what you
go.
do.
That's right.
So the other thing you said was manage. You said so monitor your resources, manage. Um, so I'm going to say, I guess let's say we're looking at our bank statement and we need to understand what we're monitoring our bank statement, right?
In
And
and out,
then,
what's coming in and what's going out.
right. And then we need to manage what's coming in and what's going out
Right?
in order for us to yes,
Reallocate. So wait a minute. A lot of money's going to Starbucks. A lot of money's going here that I can recalibrate or reallocate to something that's going to multiply.
correct. Right. Then move it on to the multiplication table. So those are the things that you're suggesting that people do. So clear target, get your freedom number, and also monitor, manage, and multiply your resources.
Bank
Right.
statement, stock, 401ks. Look at everything that's coming in, what's
Mm-hmm.
going out. How is it multiplying? Are the interest babies having babies? Or how about your friends? Are your friends resourceful? Can you guys work together in a team fashion, or are able to get supporters that will support your new goal? That's all the
Mm-hmm.
reassurance aspect in life.
All right. So explain interest babies having babies. I know what.
Well, unfortunately, more than 95% of the population eats their seed. Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, you're here. They eat their
Okay.
seed as opposed to impregnate it and put it in the ground and let it get a harvest. Because scripturally it says that so long as the world is the world, that there'll always be seed time and harvest. And so your seeds are either your thoughts or your resources,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you have to sow them into a soil, into an environment that will be conducive for it to give birth or spring up. But I assure you that most of the time, when your seed springs forth, it's not singular, it's going to be multiple,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
When you plant an apple seed, you don't get one apple,
No.
you get a tree that bears a multitude of apples. The
No.
same with a grape and like and so forth. So
Correct.
shall it be in your finances, right? In your
Mm-hmm.
finances, so long as you have $1, that's a seed. Your job should be, how do I impregnate this dollar so
Mm-hmm.
that it produces more babies?
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at your second generation of babies and you say, well, how do I then make these babies have some babies? And you keep replicating that process. That's what I mean by multiply.
Mm-hmm.
Even in friendships, you may have one, two, or three. If you're lucky in a lifetime, you'll have one good friend. But if you do, you learn how to use associates and affiliates and group economics to magnify results that you have. Because no man is an island, as we spoke about earlier. You mentioned that around year 7 or 8, you realized that you couldn't be the chief bottle washer and the cook,
Right.
that you had to enlist others in your journey.
This is true. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, all right. So we again clear target goal, freedom number, monitor, manage, and multiply your resources.
Hmm.
And what would you say? I guess we can get one more. We have.
One more. Oh, let's see.
I'm
One
thinking
more.
find those a mentor, right?
Oh, well, that's without saying. I think anytime you are looking to do something new,
Mm-hmm.
the best way to get there is to find someone who's done the things you desire to do
Mm-hmm.
and has attained or reached the places you'd like to go or reach,
Mm-hmm.
and try to get in the proximity of said person. because relationships are not gifts, they are investments. And so if you learn to invest in strategic relationships that you can sprout out and have help in the time of need and go further when you have two that walk together.
Right.
Think about that. Have you ever went on an exercise and you're taking a stroll and you're trying to get in shape and you just found walking by yourself makes the walk tedious and long, but if you were with a partner or a friend and you guys are talking and engaging and conversing, that you'd be, oh wow, we walked 5 miles. It didn't even feel like 5 miles because the time passed by in great conversation. I think the same should be applied when you're looking to change the trajectory of your life. May it be fiscally or may it be physically. You should have a companion.
I love that. Okay, so we want to get our clear target in place. What is our clear target? Where do you see yourself, right? Where do you see yourself in the next 90 days, in the next 6 months? Maybe do a quarterly assessment of yourself.
A quarterly assessment. Now, what is that doing? You're monitoring and managing, right? So you're still applying the same principle.
Yes. Figure out what is your freedom number, what is going to free you up to be able to now have time, location, and financial freedom. And once you figure out what that freedom number is, then you have to then employ things, be it investing or maybe starting a business or partnering with people. Something that's going to get you to your freedom number. I know we are big on showing people how to acquire businesses because starting new businesses is not always the smartest route to go, but we can always discuss that on another segment that we're going to introduce. But whatever is going to get you to your freedom number, if your job is not allowing you to get there, then that is what you have to discuss and figure out. The third tip was monitor, manage, and multiply your resources. And then the fourth is mentorship, locking arms, getting in proximity with people who have already done what you're looking to do, and can help guide you along the way so that you can start beginning to build the wealth that you want to, have for yourself, leave for your children and grandchildren, because we are the new ancestors, right? That's what you always say. We are the new ancestors.
Yes, we are. We are the new ancestors.
And we need to leave things, start making sure our heirs are going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. The greatest inheritance you can leave your children and grandchildren and those you may never meet is knowledge. Knowledge. People often think it's money or a unit of exchange, but the knowledge to be able to manage that. And I'd like to add to that in terms of mentorship, we like to say mentorship/coaching, because everyone on this call or listening to this podcast would know that when you don't know something, that's why you go and find someone who's done it and reach the places you'd like to go, because they have a plan, a pathway, and a process that they got there. That's the access that you're getting when you get a mentor. You get a blueprint or a process, right? But then as you apply that process, your same mentor then also becomes a coach to you, evaluating and assessing your application of his or her blueprint that they gave you. And that's so important to know, because people get them interchangeably wrong. There's a difference between a coach and a mentor and a coach. Some people need a coach at some point because they have a blueprint and they need a good coach, where others don't have a blueprint or someone who helps them perfect the blueprint. And I think that's the benefit of us here in our community, that we have the full package, the balanced breakfast, where we mentor and coach.
Right. Now, one of the things I love how you break down coaching, when you speak about, let's say, the greats, they have coaches, the LeBron James, the Michael Jordans, the, even the Oprahs of the world, because I believe she used to, she still goes to like the Deepak Chopras, and she went to Maya Angelou and all these people. She still sought out assistance and guidance along the way. And so do the greats. That's because they were born with a talent, doesn't mean that they don't need. And the Kobe Bryant, remember Kobe Bryant was like a phenomenal person who would always just come in early, right, and stay past games and continue to practice. And, he didn't stop, but he had his coaches to guide him along the way. Just because you're great doesn't mean you can't get greater.
Absolutely. And if we have if time permits, like looking for the example, Coach Prime, right? Coach Prime went to Colorado. Yes. He was a Hall of Famer and two-sport professional, right? But most folks, the reason that he has such pull appeal is because he's a great mentor, because he has a winning formula. He's been nothing but success in his career. Right. People want to be a part of that blueprint. There's a certain blueprint. And I wanted to point that out. One of the key things he changed when he went into college football or even high school football was that traditionally in sports, you have a captain and co-captains, right? One of his blueprints is that he has only two designations, a leader and a dog. And in his definition of those, the leaders are the ones who basically have, that leadership, that guidance to guide you to the battle on the field. And those dogs are just those ones who just outwork you.
Yes.
That they get, they're like that pit bull on a chain in the backyard in the hood, hungry, hot, and frustrated. And they're like, I have to get it. So he categorizes his players based on that. And I think that's kind of fitting even in the world of personal development, is that if you don't have that eye of the tiger mentality, that nothing's going to stop you. You're going to do it. You're on your way up.
Yeah.
You have to have that zeal. And so I just want to kind of add that to that. The greats had that hunger, but they had someone they could look up to, which is a mentor. So for example, Michael Jordan looked up to Dr. J.
Right.
Kobe Bryant looked up to Michael Jordan. And then you look at a LeBron James looks up to the three of them.
Yeah.
But yet, he's now the all-time greatest scorer in the NBA, but those are his mentors who were before him.
Exactly.
See how that works? So it's powerful.
Exactly. And he was born with the gift that he has.
Correct.
But he still needed someone there to help guide him, nurture him, and take him under their wing. So you still need someone who's going to do that. People will tell you all the time they got to the level that they're at because they had somebody who was willing to come alongside of them and help them to get there. Somebody who knows. You have to align yourself with people who know more than you. You can't become great if you're hanging around people that don't know more than you. I mean, stop being the smartest person in the room. Surround yourself with a multitude of intelligence. Yes, I love it. So this has been a very good conversation. I hope it's going to be helpful and give you, those who are listening, a good start on where to go. And if you have any questions, you can always inbox us or message us at any time, and we'll be more than happy to schedule a conversation with you and, see what type of direction we can put you on. We do what we call a strategy session, so that we can put you on the right pathway, right? So
Absolutely.
So that you can move through the level, get to the level that you're looking to get to the right way. So again, reach out to us if you have any questions at all. And did you have any closing remarks, Al?
All I'm going to say is that trust yourself. The best investment one can ever have is investing in themselves. And if that's something you want to do, I'm certainly encouraged that you like this podcast, share it with as many people possible, because sharing is caring, and it's all about group economics. And we'll be looking forward to speaking to you.
Yes. All right. Well, it's been a great conversation as always, and I will talk to you soon.
Awesome.
Thank you for listening to Wake Up and Win with Al Mills and Monique Macklin. We hope you've been enlightened by today's message. Please subscribe to our podcast and share with your friends on your social media platforms. If you have any questions or comments, follow us on Instagram at Wake Up and Win Show.